inversions, alternative chords on electric, this is a really great way for us to start exploring some new sounds, to slot in between maybe the rhythm electric and the keys, or the violin players higher up. This is how we kind of carve out our own space. What we're going to do is we're going to go into this with some shapes, and I would encourage you to check out the theory, learn the note names on the 6th string, on the 5th string, on the 4th string. That's how it helps us to connect in reality. But we're going to focus on a few shapes, G shapes and D shapes, and this is going to help us as we start to think about adding some textures into our playing. So the idea of inverting a chord is changing the position of the notes, and it brings out a different feel, a different colour. If I was to play G, C and D, I might just set it here. What if we wanted to play that higher up the neck? What options do we have there? This is why we'd use some inversions. So I'm going to start by showing you some inversions using G shapes. And we're going to talk about the 1 chord, the 5 chord, the 4, the 6. These are the main ones that we're going to focus on, so it'll be really great to get up on that. The way that we're thinking about inversions is we're taking an open chord and we're sliding it up the neck, playing parts of it. It's a little bit like using a capo. So my pointer finger is essentially going to act like a capo, like when we move it up the neck. So we might play a G shape with the bottom 3 strings like this. Or we might have a D like this, a C like this. Say that's our C chord. We might just play the bottom 3, back to D, and back to G. So that'd be like we play. The idea is that we're going to slide that up the neck. So I'm going to take this 1 chord, which is the G, the 4, which is the C, and the 5, which is the D, and I'm going to slide it up here. So our root now is a C note rather than a G. And that's going by the 3rd string. And I'm going to play those same patterns again. There's the G shape, here's the D shape, and here's the C shape. Back to the G shape. So to contrast that's it down there. And we can slide those anywhere. We think of that as a 1 chord, a 5 chord, a 4 chord, and the 1. I'm sliding it up here. There's that same pattern. The 1 chord, the 5 chord, the 4 chord, and the 1 chord. So that's some of our G shapes. We could take that higher up the neck, a whole octave. And let's pop on some delay and reverb and see how it pans out, picking through it. That's some of the G shapes that we've got. Now let's look at some D shapes. We're following the exact same principle. Different chords that we use in the key of D move really, really well up and down the neck. So again, as if my first finger is off, here's a D shape, the 1 chord, as we're in the key of D now. An A shape, the 5 chord. A G shape, D is the 4 chord. Back to the 1 chord. Also going to throw in the minor 6. again. The 1, the 5, the 6, and the 4. I'm going to slide that up here so that we're going to play in the C position, the key of C. And there's my 1 chord there, that D shape. Here's the 5 position, that A shape. I'm muting this and this. Here's the 6th, just these 3 notes. And there's the 4. Very practically, we might use that in a song, like Blessed Be Your Name is a good example. Kick it on some effects and drive, and we start to chug that out, feel like this. If I took that back to D, here's what it would sound like. That with the usual shapes we might use, you can see most of the chord being in these. The key thing making that work really is just hitting those bottom 3 strings. That's pairing up together. We're not too worried about playing out all 6 strings in these inverted chords. We're just trying to find some colour within the chord and bring out 2 or 3 of those notes really nicely. So that's a little bit about inversions.